Hi guys, Joe here with Thank Kilo Wink, and it's about time I finally do some card showcases for Super Chef. Because of how the type system works in Super Chef, there's a few ways that I could realistically do this. I could have the showcases be based off the primary types, so I could be showing off mains, sides, desserts, like that. But I don't think that'll be the best way to show off the cards because a lot of the cards work together based off their secondary types, which is how I'm going to do it. Now, most cards have multiple secondary types. I'm just grouping them together with the cards that best fit their ability. And to start off, we're going to be going with some of the more basic generalist cards. These cards don't have any additional secondary types. Customer and special cards will get their own showcases. However, if a customer or special card is specifically meant to be played with a certain group of card, it will be in that grouping showcase. So today we're mostly talking about food cards, however there will be one customer card we talk about at the end. First off, we have breadsticks, a tech card. Now, most low value cards are going to have really good abilities, whereas high value cards are going to have drawbacks to kind of persuade you to not use those cards. In Breadstick's case, it has to be played to a specific customer type, customers with a dollar value of 1. You get to increase your max hand size from 4 to 5. Now that can be helpful in general, but it comes in real handy when you're looking for specific cards to get specific combos off. Otherwise, if you're not playing Breadsticks to the correct customer, it's not going to help you in the long run. Next up, we have Hot Dog and Corn Dog. Now I'm grouping these two cards together because they play very similar roles and they have very similar ideas. The joke behind these two cards is you never want to know what a hot dog is made of. So because of that, they actually aren't considered meat types and their flavor text plays into that joke. Hot dog can't have its value be changed in any way. That ranges from customer likes to hates, other food card abilities, or even special card abilities. However, the drawback is that you can't play this food to customers that like vegetable, fruit, or meat food cards. Now, Hot Dog doesn't have a whole lot of value, but it is a very reliable card because you don't have to worry about its value changing. Thanks to this much better ability, however, the drawback is a little worse. You can't play Corn Dog to customers with expensive. It does have one more base value than Hot Dog, but both of these cards play very similar roles. It's really just how you make your customer deck. Do you have more expensive customers or do you not have any at all, and if you even really want this reliable cards, these are kind of weaker cards in my opinion, but they could have their uses. Next up is Steak Fries, another tech card. You're not actually playing Steak Fries to win a customer, you're playing Steak Fries reactively to a customer you've decided you've already lost, because its ability lets you return all other food cards played in that lane back to your hand if you lose that customer. So if you have some high value cards like premium steak or red wine, or some important tech cards like pancakes or any of the other breakfast cards, you're able to return all of those back to your hand and have a whole host of cards to then play next round. This does come at the drawback though that you're not able to cycle through your deck and get new cards, so your opponent will be expecting to some degree what cards you'll play. Soda is a very interesting tech card, similar to Steak Fries, where you're playing it reactively to a customer you already feel like you're not going to win. Where Soda's ability differs, however, is that it lets you choose 2 cards from your waste pile, you then reveal them to your opponent, and then they get added to the top of your restaurant in any order you want. However, you're probably going to draw both of them next turn anyways. Now, arguably this is a better ability in the late game and far worse in the early game when compared to Steak Fries. But you do have the ability to choose any card you've played throughout the match, whereas Steak Fries, you have to strategize a little bit more and play it to a lane with important food cards already there. Next up is Mashed Potatoes. Now, Mashed Potatoes has gone through a couple of ability changes throughout Super Chef's lifespan, but right now it serves a unique role in Super Chef. It's the only card that has a negative drawback to discarding. See, whenever your opponent discards from their hand or restaurant, you get to increase the value of all your other food cards on the table by 1. Now that might not seem like a lot, but if you have filled board and your opponent is constantly discarding, even through special cards like Trash Bag, then mashed potatoes is going to give you a butt ton of value. Now the only downside with mashed potatoes is that you're relying on your opponent to discard. However, mashed potatoes does still have a high base value, so you can still just play it to have that value. Now cinnamon roll doesn't have a whole ton to talk about. The only interesting feature about it is that it has two primary types. It is both a starter and dessert type. Other than that, it's just a simple 5 value, no ability card. Cheese Pizza is another simple stat card. It's got 6 value with no ability. However, just like Cinnamon Roll, it has 2 main types. In this case, main and side. Now, Cinnamon Roll and Cheese Pizza don't really provide any unique roles. What they are kind of like filler stat cards. If you need a basic 6 or 5 value card, you can just add Cheese Pizza and Cinnamon Roll without really needing to worry about whether or not they fit into the deck archetype or deck playstyle. Cinnamon Roll might be a little better to put in simply because its typings aren't as common or on important cards, whereas main and side will probably have some contenders of whether or not you want to play it or not. So once again, here's another tech card, Roasted Peanuts. Now Roasted Peanuts isn't too special, it's just a 2 value. It does have the added bonus, however, where if it's the first food card played this round, it increases the value by 3. Baked Chips has a bit of an interesting history with it. It originally started off as like a 3 value, no ability food card, I believe. However, since Corn on the Cob existed, which is a 4 value, no ability food card, with additional secondary types, there was really no reason to play Baked Chips. So I gave it an ability where when played, you get to search your restaurant for another copy of Baked Chips, and for every copy of Baked Chips on the table, all Baked Chips gain 1 value. So at the end of a round, you could have 3 Baked Chips on the table with 4 value. With the consistency of being able to search your deck for a specific card that slowly gets stronger every turn, I think it gives it a very unique and consistent role that many other cards really don't have. Just like mashed potatoes, egg salad provides a very unique role. It is the only card in the game that removes other abilities. It combos really well with high value cards because you can remove those abilities that have drawbacks. Now, some of those are when played effects, so that's not going to help you there. But cards like Premium Steak and Pizza Supreme have constant effects that, if removed with egg salad, can greatly help you win a customer or even the match. There's also the added bonus that you can just pick some of your opponent's food cards to remove their abilities. Nearing the end now, coffee is a little different when compared to other tech cards because it can provide both a stat roll and a ability focused roll. It allows you, when played, to shuffle the remaining cards in your hand back into your restaurant and draw back up to 4. So if this is the first card you play that turn, you're actually gaining 1 in card advantage. Coffee also has a unique synergy with spicy and alcohol decks. In spicy and alcohol decks, often you use spicy cards to discard alcohol cards. However, if you don't have any alcohol cards to discard when playing a spicy card, that can often ruin your strategy. So with a coffee in play, all of a sudden, you can get a better hand that has both types of cards that you need. The last card we'll be going over for today's showcase is the Taste Tester. Now, the Taste Tester is a ×2 expensive customer, meaning that it can double the value of one other customer that you have already won. Now, these customers tend to be very tricky to win. However, they can give you a monumental boost. The tricky part with Taste Tester is that it's focused on cards with no abilities and little to no secondary types. To start, food cards played to Taste Tester with no ability gain 3 value. So cards like Cinnamon Roll and Cheese Pizza would actually gain 3 value for being played to Taste Tester. However, food cards played here with abilities lose 1 value for each secondary type they have. So in this case, if a chili bowl was played to taste tester, it would go down to 2 value, whereas a pina colada would go down to 1 value. So those were all the cards that had no secondary types and the extra cards that play into that. Now, none of these food cards are going to really make a deck. However, they support and play unique roles to really any deck, that they're just good utility options. The rest of the showcases will have a little more depth to their types, because all types have kind of a unique play style, or at least a unique role that they kind of center around. For example, meat cards, they really don't like working with other food cards, especially other meat cards. Whereas spicy cards tend to have discard related effects, whether they're discarding themselves or discarding other cards. That's all I have to say for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!